All right, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the best arm wrestling sports show ever. I am blessed enough to be joining these gentlemen here. My name is Paul Linn. I've been arm wrestling for just about 5 years now, and this is what I do.
Yeah.
Nice. You got Resident Waganian from South AZ.
Scott Wayne coming to you from Los Angeles. Punt.
Nice.
Arms.
Yes,
What's
sir.
up, guys? How you guys doing?
Very well. Can't complain.
Yeah. No complaints here. It's a little hot, but hey, what are you gonna do, right?
It is hot here. It is hot here in
Beautiful
Pennsylvania.
here, guys. You guys got to come to South AZ. It's nice and monsoony.
I would love to.
So Paul, what got you into arm wrestling?
Oh man, I might have told this story. But it's nothing spectacular. It's pretty much the same thing that most people probably say. I got into the sport late. I started when I was 35. So I had a background in sports. I played football well into my 20s, and you can only play football so long. Played at all levels. Started coaching, and coaching only fulfills so much competitive drive. So I run a strength program, and I have an exercise science background and all that stuff. So I'm in the gym already, but there's no real reason to train other than aesthetics, and that gets old real quick. So just kind of looked up the sport, just because of the whole cliche, you beat all your buddies, you beat people at the bar and everything else. And looked up the sport and showed up at the tournament, and that's kind of how I got hooked.
Very cool.
Yeah. What was your first big victory or win?
Ooh, I mean, I don't know what you consider a big victory, but my first tournament I went to, I beat a national champion, and that was kind of not knowing what I was doing, just doing internet research and everything. But I beat Mike Runkle, who I don't know, he's one or two national champions at the time. Didn't win the class. It was a 199 plus class in pro, and I think I took third. But I did beat him twice. And I think that's the only, because I expected to do well because I don't know what I'm up against. And I found out afterwards that he had been a national champion. He kind of encouraged me a little bit like, hey, don't feel bad. You finished third. That's awesome. I got national
really
championships under my belt.
Yeah, third place, first event, bro. That's a big accomplishment. Who was probably one of your most difficult matches that you've had up to date?
Difficult. Well, I mean, everyone I lost, everyone I ever lost. I don't know. I mean, I feel like, man, that I had a hook war with Chris Myers, which is like, and I don't know if you guys know Chris. I think you know Chris Reza.
Yeah.
He competed as Lottie and everything, but he's a pseudo local Northeast guy, and he and I matched up in a tournament in different weight classes. I pulled up a class, and we had like 2 screaming hook wars before I really was an inside puller. He forced me there, and I just didn't want to lose. And in the first one, I had a big pop in my elbow, and I fought through it and won it. And then we come back for the finals, and I'm A side, and it was like the same thing over, and I had to just kind of gut it out. And that pop wound up being something that I deal with now, that I've had PRP for and everything. That kind of, that was one of my toughest matches.
You decided to do the PRP therapy?
I did.
How
I did
many
it twice.
sessions? So two sessions?
2 times. Yeah. One session. The first session that I got, I don't like what heals you and what doesn't heal you. Nothing heals you when you never stop training. But the first one I got brought me back to like 95%.
Wow.
That's big.
And then I wound up getting the, because Reza, I reached out to you like probably 3 years ago, if you remember, about the inner elbow stuff. And that was from that pop. And when it started becoming intolerable, and I tried all the stretches, I tried everything.
Yeah.
And it was chronic at that point.
Yeah, if it's not recovering through basic physical therapy, then you need to go outside the box, like I was telling you. And
like a typical,
I
let it go too long.
PRP is amazing, bro. Like, especially if you get a little bit of growth added into it, because they do like a PRP with growth. and
Mhm.
that like really forces the injury to recover really fast.
Right. Yeah.
Where'd you
No,
go? Where'd you go to have it done?
I went to Penn State Hershey Med. I didn't go to like a wellness clinic or anything. So they made me go through all the rigor. Like I had to get X-rays and MRIs, and I had to try all the other stuff. And it was kind of worth it because they did do the ultrasound guided and all that other good stuff. And they did. It was like with the active PRP or whatever with the live cells or whatever, all the good stuff.
Yeah.
But it worked 5 weeks, and maybe it's partially because I took time off. During that 5 weeks was the first time that I ever rested my arm for more than like 5 days. So there's a combination of that, but it worked. And then I got lateral epicondylitis. So of course,
Shit.
I go back to training and now everything's this way, and I neglected
the reverse reflection. Yeah.
And I wound up having to get it here. But knock on wood, I'm good right now.
Yeah, you just got to make sure that you're balancing things out. Similar to like kinesiology, you're educated in sports science, so you know that just keeping the balance is important.
Right.
Going into your sports science background, what do you think is more important, table time or gym training?
Oh my goodness, there's a balance. I don't believe one way or the other, and that sounds cliche, but like I don't think, in my opinion, there are very few outlying people who can have success with only one of those two, but they're out there. Because like Devin is a prime example. I mean, I talked to his buddy Dom, and Dom always, Dom gets on him for not wanting to go to the gym. Devin's lazy when it comes to like actual gym stuff. He doesn't like it. So what he does is his table time, and he does his table stuff, and he's gotten to the peak of the sport. And then you kind of look at some other people who largely don't do a lot of table time. And I don't want to, Jerry Catterat's one. He does not train like on a weekly basis on the table. And Todd Hutchings is similar. He has really gotten to the point where he is programming himself out West Side Barbell style, like the 1RMs and the different vectors and all that stuff. And he's at the peak as well. So I don't think there's any one right way. When new pullers ask me, I always what should I do, table time or gym? I have more questions. I'm going to answer that question with a question.
I think with Todd Hutchings, after he had his match with Rustam, he had to go back to the drawing board.
Right.
Analyze how he was approaching his training and how he can counter those European styles if he was to have to compete against them again.
Right. Explosiveness and the initiation.
Now, 3 workouts that you would recommend or that you choose to do on a regular basis for arm wrestling.
Are we arm wrestling specific, or are we talking
specific?
For me, the first thing when I started out not really understanding everything, trained with Bresnan and everything for a couple of weeks, then wound up coming back, linking up with Snook and some other guys. And Snook told me, he said, "Look, what do you got apparatus wise?" And I said, "Well, I mean, I got fat grips." And he said, "No, you need a wrist wrench, and you need to go hard at that wrist wrench for like the next 3 to 4 months so that you can stop losing your wrist." Yeah. So like, he's like, your arm is there, you need to get your wrist right. And I think that that's 90% of all arm wrestlers, who come in with any type of natural God-given strength or strength background. So for me, number one, and I still use that wrist wrench 3 times a week, like it's my job, because those words still ring in my head. I am in a narrow diameter wrist wrench 3 times a week, and I pyramid up the whole way to like a 1RM and static holds, and then I work my way back down, and I do a rehab day and a heavy day.
You're using the smaller one versus the bigger one. Elaborate on why you decided to go with a smaller handle.
Because I'm not grabbing somebody's hand that's the size of a softball.
I've always emphasized this.
Right. So if I don't want to arm wrestle a thing like this. This is a losing position. This is a winning position.
Yep.
I don't want to be open past here. And the beauty of a wrist wrench is it's aiming at your fingertips.
Yep.
There's very few arm wrestlers that are hitting into your actual finger knuckles. They're peeling your fingertips. So it's less about that shelving pressure. Shelving pressure is important, I believe, but if you want to contain people, hook or anything like that, if you want to be able to contain people, you have to be able to have that fingertip pressure.
Yep.
So I do wider diameter stuff as well, but that's auxiliary. For me, the wrist wrench is the bench press of arm wrestling for me.
What would workout number 2 be?
However you choose to pronate, in my opinion.
So
And now I have several variations that I think a lot of people kind of neglect. Now, obviously, like when it comes to like the core lift for pronation for me, what I've chosen, whether right, wrong, or indifferent, is a loading pin from the floor with my elbow tucked in here and rotation through different angles of the hand.
So a
And
rising pronation, essentially.
Yes, that's like my core lift. But one of the secondary pronation lifts that I like really hinge my whole style on is a towel, or Lucas Raymond makes a tool called the L tool, where the pronation itself comes through the bottom pinky. So the towel would run this way, and the pronation is hook driven, total cup, complete supination, downward rotation, shoulder rotating out all through the fingers. That to me is one of my aces that I tell people all the time. And I think people just, most of it, even Storm, when I work with Storm and we do that, he doesn't feel comfortable doing it. It doesn't feel fluid to him. But for me, that feels like hook arm wrestling, down pressure to finish.
I do that with the rope. I got like a rope, probably an inch in diameter. I'll turn it under and I'll do these. I'll turn it on top, do these.
Right.
All those rotations.
Right. I love it with the angle coming through my pinky this way, up this way, and rotating down.
Yeah. So essentially, your engagement of pronation starts with the pinky, then flows through the palm of the hand, directly through the fingers.
100%.
That's a different style.
100%.
Because most people will have the pronation based off of here, or here, or here, or even off of the wrist. But you're creating the pronation from here and bringing it back around, which means that essentially you're beginning the engagement through here, similar to a hook.
Exactly.
But then finishing through.
Exactly.
Yeah.
The first person that kind of Ron Klemba mentioned that to me earlier on in my days, and I didn't understand it. Of course, why would I understand that? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But later on, I started training with Dave Morocco, and he's become one of my closest friends in the sport and mentors. And I go down to Maryland, train with that team all the time. And Dave is a big down pressure guy.
Yeah, so Dave's an awesome guy.
I love Dave.
Yeah.
He's a great human being. He's just an amazing human being. He's a big down pressure arm wrestler. So he believes in this pinky down here. And at like talking and working through different things, Dave's a top roller, he's an open top roller and everything. But Kenny Smith is there and he's a supinated hooker. And, we started working and talking, thinking and everything. And that's kind of where we started digging into the idea of being able to rotate through the bottom knuckle of your pinky and also thumb down. So it's all variation of down pressure, but it has to have a deep cup.
That's what Vasquez Segonia, that's his move right there, dude.
Right.
And it hurts.
When it hurts, it's terrible.
Yeah.
It's terrible.
Yes, it hurts.
Well, and the other thing about it too is like when you start talking about like deep hook pulling, like you have so many guys run their shoulder forward and they lay on their elbow joint straight sideways or at you. And when they do that, they quite often let that pressure off of their bicep, which is that rotational backwards drag. And if you like Travis uses the elbow to the side in a top roll, like a high side pressure top roll type position, where he'll come back and if he can't finish, he'll down pressure down. It's the same thing in a hook. You slam sideways and then rotate this way, or even retreat rotate. And I don't know, I've had success, and I felt like when people commit complete side pressure, all except for like Todd Hutchings and those guys who are weirdos, you usually can kind of find a lane.
Let's look at some of your.
That's old stuff.
Yeah, there's an old highlight video. Were you utilizing this technique at this point, or is this something newer?
No. Anything that you're going to see in this video, I hadn't got that far yet, really.
How old is this?
Oh, that's got to be 3 years. That's all year one stuff predominantly.
That's damn little. Those are good wins.
Yeah, for year one, you were definitely on the move.
I remember when I met Paul, when I met you at Arnold's and after pulling and just, just going, wow, this dude's back pressure is just so retarded. It's ridiculous. And you
okay.
just excelled from there. You didn't plateau. You didn't get stuck there. You just kept climbing, dude.
Trying to. It's been tough this past year with everything that's happened and everything. So hopefully we can pick back up where we left off. But
now, was this event recent right here?
that one is recent. That's during COVID. That's only a couple months ago. Yeah, that's a couple months.
And now there it looked like you.
Yeah, there's some supination and down pressure.
Yeah.
Just a little bit.
There it looked like you had.
You might see a whole lot more of that if you. Yeah, this video might show a whole lot more of that probably. But I shouldn't be talking about that on. Somebody might watch it or something.
This the round robin at the end.
Third workout, Paul. Third workout.
What's that? Third workout. Rising.
Rising. Okay.
Rising.
Back pressure. Rising back pressure.
Knuckle up. When I say rising, it's not net back pressure. I'm really just talking about wrist rise.
Yeah, I call it up pressures. That's
up pressure.
Up pressure.
Yep. I want to me, if I can come down, but I also can threaten to go up, then most people are going to have to guess what I'm doing.
Yeah.
And I can switch up.
Yeah.
Yeah. So Paul wasn't happy with your shoulder being forward like that in front of the pad?
No.
I'm gonna have to check out this video.
Yeah, he went pretty. How many matches in a row did you go?
I don't know, like 18, something like that.
18 matches. And who were your hardest matches in that?
Paul.
Yeah.
Paul.
Definitely.
Paul, Jason Merlot, Steve Walker. Not a lot. Steve Walker is a long time national champ puller from the. Scott, do you know Steve?
I know the name, but I don't know him.
He's a Jersey guy. He was Jim Bryan's teammate. He got a bunch of national championships back in the day. Took like 15 years off. Big guy. He's tough. He's real tough. Big old hand. But yeah.
I was impressed when I saw the win over Paul Linn. Over Paul Talbot. I was pretty impressed, Bubba.
Thank you.
I know his left is his money, but still to get a win over him is still.
Yeah. That's been my training partner for the past few weeks here now, or not few weeks, few months, I guess.
You're training with Paul?
Yeah, he worked, he's from Ohio, but he works in Amtrak, and Amtrak is like, they have a Mechanicsburg hub that's like 15 minutes from me. So like when he was prepping for the Justin Bishop match, I think we did 1 or 2 sessions a week for 8 weeks prior to that match.
Yeah, you two together are gonna be one hell of a force to deal with, bro.
Well, he what I noticed was my left got significantly better, and I think his right got significantly better. It's funny how things work. Like his left's kind of banged up now, and his right's healthy. And good. Like he pulled at Keystones, on Saturday, smoked everyone right. Didn't feel anyone. Right arm. Yeah. And lefty had a little bit of battles with Zaza and stuff. So
Storm?
Yeah. What's that?
You talking about Storm?
No, I'm talking about Paul Talbot.
Okay. What's going on with Storm?
Storm's getting married. He bought a house. He's doing a whole bunch of life stuff. He's got a crazy amount of overtime, but he's training. He and I haven't been able to link up. We're about 2 hours apart. So like if we're both like training for something specific, we will come to each other every week. Right. But as of now with COVID and everything, it's been like, I talk to him regularly, but we don't necessarily have a reason to link up. And like with Talbot being local, 3 nights a week, he's in Harrisburg. He's in my hometown 3 nights a week. So him prepping for Justin, it was just easy. I was able to just go pick him up and we go train.
Right on.
He's definitely a good training partner, Bubba.
Oh my gosh.
Take advantage of that.
Amazing.
So hey, Paul, what do you think about these upcoming super matches with Chance Shaw, Mike Aiello, Jordan Seal, and Don Hollywood Underwood.
So is that what's the format?
So they're all going to arm wrestle each other.
Round robin?
Yeah. First match is Jordan Seal and Chance.
Okay. Is there a weight cap?
No.
No.
Yeah, Chance is going to be coming in at 300 plus.
I know.
And Jordan said he's not going to gain more than 225. He said he was going to get up to
225.
because he's got a cut for another match.
You know what? And some people don't like Chance or whatever else, but buddy, he's on a tear, and he's 300 pounds. So like a Chance is, Chance and I had been friends since I first started. I met Chance when I was 4 months in at Nationals in South Carolina. And we shared a room when we were down there, and he was just a baby at the time. He was just a kid.
Yeah.
And he has, at like 205, it's easy to point at him and say like, oh, he's sloppy or whatever his style is and whatever. He is not a weak guy. So if anybody thinks that Chance Shaw is weak, or a nerd or whatever he portrays, they're way off. Chance's dad, he comes from a very good pedigree. He has great genetics. His dad is a stud and like a great bench presser, power lifter. And Chance naturally, without giving hardly any effort at all, is extremely strong. He came up and we went up to Storm, and we went to Storm's gym and we did like a workout and stuff. And we wound up finishing up like on a decline bench. And Chance did 315 on the decline like 6 times without like ever doing it.
Wow.
Like he's a weirdo. And I think he portrays something totally different because that's his brand. But honestly, that guy right now is probably one of the scariest dudes as far as potential and where he could go. And I hate to say it, like Jordan is a great arm wrestler. He's a great middleweight. He can beat any middleweight on his best day. So I'm taking anything away from him. And Aiello is one of my good friends, and we all like, he's tremendous. And we don't know where Don's at right now. And we know he's coming back. If I had to pick somebody and put $100 on it, if I had to pick one of them, I'd probably pick Chance.
Yeah, you're not the first. So what's in the future for you, Paul?
I don't know. We shall see. Probably the only thing I have penciled in right now is Arm Wars.
Nice.
And so Arm Wars, which would be the Arnold UK with Neil. And that's toward the end of the summer. And that's pending all this COVID vaccinations and quarantines and everything else. So all that's still up in the air.
What's your weight right now?
I'm like waking up 210, 211. It's summertime. I gotta be ready for the beach. No, I'm light, but I usually don't go much higher than 215, 218, that range.
What's the lowest you'll go? Like you had
To cut?
a match, 200 pounds?
Yeah, I'll cut to 198. I'll cut to 195 if I need to. I know that weight class is kind of dead, but I can do that. It wouldn't be ideal. My sweet spot's 205.
If you could arm wrestle anybody in the world, like a shout out match, who would it be?
I see, and I'm not good with those types of things though.
You could pick 3. You could pick 3.
Well, just something that you would consider like a challenge. Like for me, it would be Vitaly Dubrava from Georgia, who beat me 3 years ago at Zloty Tour on Faust.
Right.
He won the tournament, so you know what I mean. Like that would be like my
revenge.
Yeah, or Bosgan.
Yeah.
He's a little closer to home.
I mean, I love Rob. I would love to arm wrestle Rob.
BJ?
Yeah.
That'd be
I would love to
good
arm wrestle.
challenge. He's been on fire.
Exactly. And that's why it's nothing more than like, because I'm not a guy who runs around calling people out. Like I don't have like a vendetta against anybody. I don't have any bad blood with anyone. And I try and keep it that way.
You want to test your skills, and you can be a gentleman about it and just who's better that day, you know.
To me over here, that would be the guy that holds kind of the most clout to like right now he's the guy who's been on the rip, you know. So that would be cool.
What about oh, go ahead. You got another one?
I don't know. Like if you're talking overseas, and this wouldn't be anything right now because I'm not ready or whatever. But
Yeah, for shits and giggles, bro. Throw it out there.
I don't know. So,
Oh,
after
yeah.
seeing what Zololev did to Todd, I would love to kind of
just feel it, just see where it goes.
Yeah, I just want to I want to get top rolled too.
Have you pulled Zaza since he's been out there?
No. No, he was at the tournament.
He's been on a terror, bro. That guy's he's like, I mean,
Zaza is much smaller than I thought he was. On camera, he looked bigger. No, I mean, I see him.
They got a nice fisheye, bro, and they hit him from like a bottom angle, like
yeah, they get him.
Shots.
No, he actually didn't have a good turnout at Keystones.
Oh shit.
He didn't place right arm.
Damn.
I think he went 1 and 2. He got flashed one time and he was upset about the start.
Welcome to America.
And I don't know if you know Brian Malik. He's a PA puller's been out for a while. He was at WAL finals and we were there, Reza, and he caught him in a hook and brought him over right arm. And then left arm, Zaza took second to Talbot, which he looked better left arm. But they had another Georgian there too, Irakli. I don't know how to say his last name. Are you familiar?
I've heard of him, yeah.
Deep hook puller. I guess apparently he has wins on like a lot of really notable people. I think he has like 1 world championship compared to the other 2 who have like 10 and 12.
Yeah.
But he was impressive. He won both arms.
Damn.
I got to pull with him a little bit after. He's tight.
Well, shit, Paul, we got to get you back on the show, bro. We got less than a minute right now.
Yeah, let's do. Can you do a part 2, Paul?
Sure, man. Sure. Listen, every time I'm used to being on with Neil. He'll keep you on there for like 2.5 hours. I feel like we didn't even get started
simple,
yet.
Bubba. We're simple. 30
we
minutes.
We didn't get started yet.
Well, guys, until next time. Appreciate having you.